What is good, y'all? SGG gang, man. It's your boy SmooveGotGame back with another Detroit Tigers rebuild, man. And I hope you guys are enjoying the series. Make sure you guys leave a like, comment down below any kind of feedback you guys have for the series, and please subscribe if you are brand new to the channel, man. It means the world to me, and I love going through this with you guys that are also fans of either rebuilds, baseball, MLB, or the Detroit Tigers themselves. One of the three above. But today we're gonna be going into the postseason, off-season / area because we have no postseason run this year. We did not make it. We did not do enough to go ahead and clinch any type of seeding. But as you can see here, you got the Yankees, Houston, LA, Texas, Cleveland, Toronto, San Diego, Atlanta, St. Louis, San Francisco, LA again, and New York again to go ahead and make this postseason bracket. So what we're going to do is kind of go team by team and just kind of see how the postseason plays out, see who our first World Series champions of the series is going to be. And right off the bat, we know it's not going to be the New York Yankees. I went to my favorite team to see if they could win their series. They end up losing in 3. As you can see, the first round is just a best of 3 series, so they lose in the final game. The Angels sweep the Rangers. You got Atlanta winning in 3 against the Padres, and the Cardinals sweeping the Giants. So this next round, we will go ahead and go over to our NL favorite team, at least where I was born and raised, somewhat, kind of, the Los Angeles Dodgers, to go ahead and see if they're able to make it to the postseason, which they do against the Mets after a convincing sweep there of Atlanta. The Mets ended up winning in 5. You see Houston over there winning in 4, and then the Angels also winning in 4. So the Dodgers, like one of the top seeded teams left still in this postseason. So I think they would, at least in my eyes, be favorites to go and win this World Series. And at least we know we made it, and we at least know that the World Series, I don't know how many times this has happened in history, but we'll be staying in LA the entire time. The Angels win in 5, Dodgers win convincingly as well in 5, and we'll have to see which LA team is going to be the better to pull this one out. It goes to a game 6, game 7, Dodgers win it in 7. Exciting postseason run. If we go to the postseason, maybe we'll actually watch some of those games, but since we had no kind of influence in the postseason at all this time, I just went and simulated it all the way through. So we'll go ahead and get it straight into the offseason. As you can see, we have 2 retirees here, John Rosoff and Zach Short, both just because their overalls are way too low. They don't feel like they'll have a chance to go to the professional level. They feel like they made their money. They're going to go ahead and get out while they're young and got their legs and abilities. As you go through everything else, you'll notice one name did not pop up, and that is Miguel Cabrera. I've seen in a lot of other people's, he retires first year. I've seen in the past games, he retires first year. This year, he said, I'm going to stick around at the age 40 and come right back for y'all. Y'all saw Robinson Cano makes the Hall of Fame now. So he's the only one that retired that was eligible for it. But we got some things that we got to fix now, and now that becomes a tricky thing that we have to figure out with Miguel Cabrera. Another thing we have to figure out is this whole coaching staff. I did not like how much red I was seeing here. We are losing a lot of valuable points, and it's no wonder some of our defensive abilities and speed abilities are lower with these coaching staff. So I go ahead and basically everybody but my farm director, which I was okay with those kind of settings. The -3 play vision was just a deal breaker here, even though the +3 power. We go ahead and fire basically our entire coaching staff except for the farm director, and we're going to be looking for all new coaches this upcoming season. So first off the bat, I'm looking at Pablo Sign as our potential manager. He's got +2 clutch power, 3 on the reaction, +1 strikeout per 9. I thought what I feel like is a pretty good offer for him. Then we go over to our hitting coaches, and I'm trying to look for either guys that have 4 straight whites, no reds, or the red is something that I can withstand, like -2 drag bunting. We're not gonna be drag bunting that much, especially with no more pitchers in there. No reason to really drag bunt like that. We got full force offense, so I don't mind offering him a contract here. Our pitching coach, looking at these pitching ratings, -1 pitching clutch isn't bad. -1 break isn't terrible, but if all possible, I'd like to get this one on 4 straight whites. That +3 walk per 9 is looking pretty interesting right here for Joe Kaiser. I think I could take the -1 pitching clutch for a +3 for the walks. Our walk totals were pretty high last year, so I want to kind of go ahead and lower that a little bit if we at all can. And here at third base coach, go ahead and just make an offer. Lose 2 on the fielding, but we did have another, I think it was actually our first base coach, had a +2 on the fielding, so it kind of negates that. So that's the only reason I went there with that one. So those will basically be just that baseline, whatever they actually are. No boost, no hurt. Now, also staying in phase 1 though, as we have our restricted free agents. These are the ones we can offer the qualifying offers to, or just go ahead and straight up sign back. I only will offer the qualifying offer. I made the mistake of doing this the first time because it offers them like 19 or 20 million. If they are requesting around that much, and I'm going to offer it anyway, and I feel like another team would steal them so I can get an extra draft pick. Jonathan Scope, at 32 years old, only hitting 19 home runs. He hit over 300. I don't think his free agent market is going to be that viable. So I'm going to just go ahead and sign him back to a little deal here and not even worry about the qualifying offer. 2 years, about $8.1 million a season. For me, seems like a pretty good idea. He will definitely be a star. He's going to be hitting in the 3 spot as of right now, unless I go ahead and make some big moves. And I'm just kind of testing things out here with the front load, back load, trying to see if maybe I can make the cap work a little bit better. Obviously not trying to use up all of my money. I'm trying to be smart with what we have as far as, cap space and everything like that. Cesar Hernandez had a great season last year, hitting 282. I want to bring him back as well. Home runs down from what I'm at least used to seeing him do. But I do feel like he's worth at least getting the contract. Miguel Cabrera, this is just out of the nostalgia. I mean, he's been a great on this team for so long. I'd be great if he could just go ahead and retire here. You see they got him in the AAA uniform. He's not good enough to be in the Major League roster no more at 61 overall. But we'll offer him a nice little 1-year deal, so hopefully next year he'll retire with us. Next up, we got Jose Cisnero, Chasson Severe. A couple of good relievers that put up some decent ERAs for us that I think we could definitely go ahead and bring back on like short-term deals to see if it's worth it. Michael Lawrenson. ERA stayed up there near the 4 or 5 range, but he had some good starts, so I go ahead and decide to offer him a contract too as well. Now, as you see here, we're simming over the next couple of days. A couple of our coaches go ahead and sign. We still do have 3 withholding: first base, third base, and manager. And right now we're in the lead for all of them, so I'm not worried. There goes the third base coach, Douglas. So now we just have 2 more guys to get to. And you see the Dodgers actually leapfrog us here for Pablo. So I don't want to lose out on my number 1 choice as a manager. I definitely got to go back in and offer them maybe a little bit better of a contract here to see if I can leapfrog them. They got 4 years, $27 million. That's roughly over 6, close to $7 million a season. We're getting very close to $7 million a season. So that's exactly what I try to offer here. 3 years, $7 million a season at 3 years, 21, and see if that's good enough to go ahead and get him to sign with me over the Dodgers. Now, before we get into that, the Blue Jays offer me a trade here for Yami Garcia. And they want to acquire Eduardo Rodriguez, somebody I've been trying to move anyway. $15 million in salary for somebody that I honestly don't think deserves it for the next 3 seasons. He played very piss poor this past season, almost a 6 ERA. A lot of his stuff went down, and I think Yami Garcia is a very good reliever. He's put up very good numbers in the series, so I think this one for me is a no-brainer. I am definitely going to make this little pick swap. I mean, he's got 1 more year left on his deal, so we have a chance to re-sign him after the season. ERA has been 3-2 the past 2 years, so that gives me at least a good sign for some recent consistency. I'm going to go ahead and make our very first trade of the series. Something that I think will help benefit us in the long run and help our bullpen. Now we step into what I call stage 2. It's where the 40-man roster comes in, arbitration comes in, and we got all of our contracts now, not just the restricted, but all the contracts that we have to offer come in. So obviously, before we get into that, we do have a couple roster moves that we do need to make. Clear up maybe a little bit of space. I think we have, 31, 32 people on the 40-man roster. So kind of just making some room, as you never know who I'll bring in as free agents. And of course, when you sign a free agent, they kind of come in and just take up the 40-man roster. We also have the Rule 5 draft that I need to make space for and room for. So I clear up a couple roster moves, and then we go straight into the arbitration period. This is where I can offer them arbitration, but I can also offer them a contract if I see a long-term future. Austin Meadows, great season, phenomenal. He's a little bit on the older side as far as the outfitters go. So I go ahead and offer our arbitration here of close to about $4.8 million to see what he can do. But we're also going to offer a contract to Akil Baddoo here. 25 years old, great left fielder, had a great season for us, one of our only all-stars. So instead of worrying about arbitration, I'm trying to get my dude down for a contract. Now, he only wants a 2-year deal here so he can be eligible for free agency, which I got to respect and let him go ahead and get his money if he can. So I go ahead and make him a nice little 2-year deal there, hoping that he signs back. Go through to our catchers, offering them a little bit of arbitration too as well. And then Eric Haas could be our power guy. I mean, I would love to have somebody that's hitting more than 20, 25 home runs. I love a 30 home run guy, but you need those 20 home run guys to supplement too as well. He's getting a little bit older, so now I'm looking at maybe 2 years, and he doesn't want more than like almost 1.2 million a season, 1.5 million a season. So I'm not mad at it at all. I go ahead and offer him his contract and arbitration. Same thing here for Alex Lange. Offer him his arbitration. Make sure he knows he's going to be our closer. He's only 28 years old. Had a very good season. Kind of fell off the second half, but still deserving of a contract. And then Ronnie Garcia too as well. I loved how he finished up the season for us when we were able to call him up and do his thing. So arbitration and a contract offer for him too as well. The one thing about these arbitrations, bro, like you don't even have to worry about them if they just sign the contract. So that's why a lot of times I do both. I try to get a contract in there too, so that way it's less people have to worry about arbitration. The arbitration money does seem a little bit less than the contract demands, but of course, contract gives me a chance to lock them in for 2 years, and I'm not doing this whole arbitration battle thing again next year. So that's why Tariq Skubal, somebody that I see as our ace, is definitely deserving to me of a 4-year deal here, close to $9 million, to make sure that he's fully happy fully aware of the team and definitely wants to come back. So now the next step of the process is definitely handling all of our contracts. And now I'm not going to show every single contract, just the contract of the major contributors, because obviously you have the minor league deals or whatever, the 1 year 60K, 1 year 70K deals. But this is just to show what I'm kind of bringing back to the team, what some future plans are. I think I liked how Parker Meadows finished out his minor league season. Looked really good. Might get an invite to spring training to see if maybe he's ready to compete with the ranks of our young outfield already. Mike Verlaine is definitely going to get a contract offer. He's still going to be my leadoff batter. Riley Green has seen great progression, so I want to get him on a long-term deal. Kerry Carpenter, one of the older of our good outfielders, or at least good potential outfielders, could put up some decent stats off the bench, so I want to offer him as well. Spencer Torkelson, I want to offer him a longer-term deal because he's the future of first base when Miguel Cabrera is gone, or he's basically gone now. So we also got to look to see what we're going to do about that position, because I do not think Spencer Torkelson is ready with the numbers he put up in the minor leagues. Going over to our pitching, Joey Wentz finished the season great. When we brought him up for September, he's going to get a September or a spring training invite, so I want to put him on a long-term deal just in case. And if all else fails, just trade him for maybe another prospect, lower level, or maybe somebody that can help out on the team. Casey Mize is going to get a full long-term contract. I think he played great, not only in the minors, but also in his September call. You see a 1.99 ERA, 2-1 record in 31 innings. We're going to offer him a 3-year contract. And now it's fine time for what everybody wants to see, the free agency market. Big names everywhere. Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Nola, Clayton Kershaw, Julio Urias. Like, there's a lot of starting pitcher talent here that could be good for us. It's something that I think we should definitely keep our eyes on and maybe potentially sign somebody here. I mean, we're going to have a young rotation, maybe at least get one arm in. That could be some help. I talked about first base being an issue because I don't think Spencer Torkelson is ready. So signing somebody that could come in and be a little bit of a power bat and still be good in the field just in case. And it doesn't matter how young or old they are. This is going to be like a 1-2 year rental. Maybe trade them away after they play good for us and have some good value. So I'm looking at Jesus Aguilar, hitting still around 240, 260, not really putting up much pop. I ended up going with CJ Cron, who last year hit 273, 24 home runs. He's 34 years old. He wants a 4-year deal, so I don't see any problem with that. I give him a player option on the end of it. Tell him he's going to be a star with the idea that this is probably going to be a 2-year contract, and I'm going to trade out of it. Next, I go over to second base because I realized looking through our roster, we didn't have a true second baseman, a true starting second baseman. So I'm looking at all the possible options here. And you saw right there on top, one of the very first options that actually had, potential to keep growing. Colton Wong hit over 260, 18 home runs. I can handle that. And then the thing I wanted to check the most was his fielding. Only 9 errors throughout the whole season, so a 98% fielding percentage. I can handle that with a 2.8 WAR. 33 years old, so I give him a little 2-year deal here. Actually extended up to 3 to see if I can make him happy, and also maybe use him as trade bait in the last year of his deal too as well, after maybe drafting somebody for second base. Then I go look at our bullpen because the bullpen is constantly changing. No one ever pitches good. It seems like 2-3 years more at a time. So I go look for some high quality guys that have done it at least consistently in the past to go offer a couple of short-term deals here. Jordan Hicks, a little 2-year deal, and Ronaldo Lopez, another 2-year deal as well. I want us to continuously get better, continuously grow. But at the same time, I know this isn't the final push to go to the postseason. That's why I'm not making any huge splashes. Now, I talked earlier about the one arm in my rotation that I wanted to go ahead and add. Why not make it Luis Severino, coming from my favorite team? I've seen what he can do before. He put up great numbers last year at 16-6 with a 2.54 ERA, 8 up innings, getting over 200, which none of our starting pitchers did. So I think at 30 years old, it's something that we could bring in, maybe use as trade bait. So I offer him a 3-year, $15 million contract, which is way more than what New York is offering him. And now we've got our offers laid out. And the only thing we have to do now from this point is basically kind of simulate forward, wait, and see how many of these great picks that we're able to go ahead and obtain to help this team be a little bit better. With those contracts already being submitted to as well, we're also going to go ahead and check out for our coaches. We're still waiting for 2 of them to go in and answer back. So I'm going to check on Pablo. Looks like we are still leading over the Dodgers with his, and then Lamont Hamilton, our first base coach. We're the only offer for him, so I don't know why he's holding out so much. But I did want to go ahead and show you guys this surprising move. I'm not showing every little update I'm doing, but James Conley, a potential at 22 years old. He's down to a 57 overall. I imagine this from just not playing last season. I want to go ahead and add him to our roster. I think we're 1 starting pitcher short from being able to have enough at each level. So I wanted to go ahead and offer him a little minor league deal and see maybe could that be something that turns out to help us as Pablo signs with the Reds. Great news though, we get Luis Severino. into our starting rotation, but we lose out on our manager yet again. I can't believe that. So I come over and look at my offers. Looks like a lot of these people are still in the offering stages. We are still the top dog or only dog in negotiations for a lot of these guys, but now we got to go right back to the coaching carousel once again and look for a brand new manager. Backed out by accident there, as we got to find somebody to kind of fill that role. We're still the only one for Lamont Hamilton, but now I got to find somebody that gives me another good mix here and basically be like my third option. Alexis Horn looks like a pretty good option here. +3 power, +1 to stamina. I'm okay with the minus and plate discipline. So really trying to get the power. And we've got to kind of combat with a couple other teams here. So looking at maybe a similar type of deal, 3 years, around 21 million. So basically $7 million a season to try to go ahead and top the Twins. And unfortunately, he apparently accepts the Rays offer, who I didn't even see in the top 3. So they just jumped in and, hopscotched over us. So now we got to go right back to the coaching carousel because we still have not found a manager. That's probably the most important coach out of all of them. And trying to find somebody that can really submit that role for us. Now, you see the Dodgers are obviously still looking too. Theirs keep getting took. So we're going to go ahead and try to look here. There's Mike Schaefer, who gives me a +3 arm accuracy, +3 contact. I'm just losing 1 on strike per 9, which I can handle. We had a lot of strikeouts, so I think we can still be good even without it. So unfortunately, he decides to go with the Dodgers offer. So yet again, we are going to like coach number 4, and the Guardians want to offer us a trade here. They want to give us starting pitcher Logan Allen for Javi Baez. Now he is 25 years old, B potential, 61 overall currently. I just didn't see that was a good move to lose somebody that we were so good with, especially at starting pitcher. We have a lot of new up and coming players. I didn't feel like that was something that I wanted to do at the moment. You can see, obviously doing the obvious though, going back to the coaching carousel to finally get our manager. We get Solomon Lincoln finally signed to a deal. Now, that's still not all of our coaches done up. We still do have to wait for one more, but that's a great sign. As well as coming in here, you see we get Jordan Hicks, Colton Wong, both accept their deals too as well. So we're down to just 4 more people we're waiting on: Jonathan, CJ, Ronaldo, and Jose Sanero. Top dog for all these except for none of them, as we should be able to go ahead and get those 4 new additions to really help the bullpen and help us out with our hitting. Now here you see we got the 40-man roster coming up because the Rule 5 draft is on the way. I go look to see who our eligibles might be, and I'm not worried about losing any of them. Even if I do, a lot of you guys have C potential. There's nobody at B or A potential that I'm worried about losing. So nobody to go in the 40-man roster, at least in my mind. And we still have 4 spots available to us. But unfortunately, we have 98 people or 96 people on our roster, as people are accepting our deals and our free agency stuff. So now I've got to kind of go backtrack, and kind of release some people. As you see here, Ronaldo Lopez, we fell short of his deal, so we're going to go ahead and boost our offer. It looks like he wants an even shorter deal. Like he wants a 1 year, 2 year type of deal. So we do go ahead and offer them 1 year, $3 million, which is less than what we were offering before, but it gets us in a better position. So in that better position actually happens to work out here. As you can see, our only offer is now CJ Cron, and Ronaldo Lopez goes ahead and signs with us. So that really helps the bullpen out a lot. Lamont Hamilton also finishes up our coaching carousel as he goes in and accepts our offer as first base coach. And CJ Cron finishes out for our last free agent offer. He's going to go ahead and come onto the team too as well. So there's our first baseman of the series. Shohei Ohtani going to the Cincinnati Reds. Look at the Reds able to spend some big money. 10 years, $350 million. That is amazing money coming out of Cincinnati that I wasn't going to be able to spend while I was their GM. I was not going to do that kind of move. And I don't think they're in a position to really make a push for the postseason to make that kind of move. But if you want to be locked in for 10 years, go ahead for it. And here, I started getting dumb trade offers. The Twins wanted to offer me for my number 1 overall draft pick, Morris Jones. Was not going for it. And this is not the first time or last time that we will see somebody go for him out of the trade. Now, Rule 5 draft time, we have the 5th pick. So I don't know if that means that we'll have the 5th pick in the draft. But we have the 5th pick in this Rule 5 draft. And amazingly enough, I see a couple A potentials right on top. Both at relief pitcher too, which is a spot that can hit or miss at any random times. And you got to know, if you sign somebody here, they do have to stay on the active roster for the whole season or they go back to their team. So I'm going to take the chance here with Anderson Espinoza, just because I feel like as we run out of room on the 40-man roster, if he does pan out and work out, that'll be a great reliever. If he just does this season, even if he has a bad season, we can send him down and let him start to mature over to that A potential. But I want to see if we can last with him on the roster. If it gets too much, we'll release him. As you saw there, another trade for Morris Jones. We went ahead and canceled that out. And more offseason moves as we go ahead and try to get to arbitration time. This is a big time trade here. Tyler Glass now going to go ahead to the Cubs to help beef up their starting rotation. So at least we won't have to see him. No, that's on the National League side. Nothing I have to worry about. And it's time for arbitration week as we go ahead and lose this one with Tyler Alexander. They go ahead and side with him. We lose this one for Jake Rogers. They side with him. That's 0-2 already. We lose this one too. They signed with Austin Meadows, signed with Matt Manning. We are 0-4. We have not won one yet, and we finally get one with Andrew Knight. But that'll basically do it. The only people left to not even sign any contracts are just two guys here, two starting pitchers. You guys don't want the $720K that kind of comes with being on it. I would jump at that kind of deal just to be a minor league pitcher, because neither one have aspirations to go to the MLB, at least in my eyes. So they'll go unsigned and become free agents. Now, you can go ahead and get a look at what our final roster will be and final battles that we will have to go ahead and put up with. Tariq Skubal, Luis Severino, Spencer Turnbull, Matt Manning, Casey Mize. That looks like our starting rotation, with plenty of battles in the bullpen to figure out who's going to figure out the rest of the bullpen rotation. Now, of course, our bats, I'm looking forward to see Riley Green get some more hits in. Looking forward to our new guys, Colton Wong, CJ Crone. Looking to see if Jake Rogers can be a backup catcher. I'm looking to see guys like Kerry Carpenter come in and do stuff, as well as Keith Clemens. He will be coming up here to spend the spring with us and see if he can make a spot on the bench, because I do have high aspirations for him. I mean, he's basically at his potential. If he doesn't make it, then he'll go to AAA, do his work down there for a little bit. Maybe a trade happens mid-season to get somebody gone to make room for him. But we will see what he can do at spring training and see if he can go ahead and just make it up to the roster in general. I'm not worried about wasting his 3-year options. I feel like he will be up here in 3 years. So this is just year 1 of 3 if it does end up getting wasted. But if you guys have enjoyed the offseason, man, I think we made the team just slightly better. Not a full-on push to go to the postseason, not a World Series run type of move. No big names really coming in that much. Filling in a couple of gaps with some band-aids, looking to fill in some prospects, and ultimately wait for our younger guys to develop and get to the next level. So this next season, I want to see improvement. We will at least hopefully hit 70 wins, maybe even 80. But I don't know if this is going to be the postseason year just yet. Last time I think we took 2 or 3 years to get to the postseason. This one might even be a little bit longer because this team's working with a little bit less. But we'll see what I can do. The free agency moves will work out. The team is actually playing above expectations. And then we just got to get the young guys in and drafted to continue moving the season along. So I hope you guys do enjoy, man. Give me a like, comment, and subscribe if you guys did. And next time out, we will be, well, you guys won't see spring training. I'm going to go through spring training. I will show you guys the spring training battles, how it all turned out, the final look at the roster, and we'll go ahead and get into opening day. So I'll catch you guys in the next one, man. It's me, your boy, SmooveGotGame, aka G and Smooth. And I will catch you guys in the next Tigers rebuild. I'm out.